Hey friends, hello, hello. My name is Svava Brooks. If you're here watching the replay, thank you so much for stopping by and checking this out. I know it's a long video, but if you're curious, hang on, but I appreciate it. My name is Svava Brooks, like I said. I'm an abuse survivor coach, and I love to hang out with my fellow survivor thrivers here on Periscope and on YouTube, where we work through our healing and restoration as we reclaim our body, our mind, and our spirits, healing after child abuse, neglect, or trauma. But if you're here live, please say hello. Please let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're from so we can welcome you and celebrate you. We usually have a topic of the day, and we are going to dig into that a little bit in just a few minutes. But if you're here and if you have any questions about trauma, healing, feeling stuck, looking for support, like I said, you can always check out my website, svavabrooks.com, where you can learn about my life coaching, how I support survivors through trauma coaching, or you can find me on social media. But I am here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And according to my friends in England, hey, Sue, it's about midnight over there right now. Isn't that right, Sue? Hey, friend, good to see you. Glad you're here. Thanks for those lovely flowers. I can see the colors, but remember, Tuesday, I was saying the hearts showed up white, but for you, they were red. But I'm seeing lots of color today. So glad you're here. It's been a while, hasn't it? Not really, right? It is midnight, just into Friday now. Woohoo, right? Friday is already there. Well, the day is coming to a close here for most of us. So, but I'm glad we also connected privately earlier today. So thank you for being here, Sue. Hold on, I'm just gonna check on a little bit of a technical issue here. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm multitasking. But to our Periscope viewers, I'm running the chat over on YouTube. So if you'd like to join our conversation there live and interact with us, we'd love to have you. Head onto YouTube and Google the name of my book, and you should find the live stream right there and then. And if you're hearing this later and we're not live, please head on over and subscribe, and then you'll get notifications when we do jump on live. So yes, right, Sue? Good. I'm glad it was helpful. I am very glad it was helpful. So, but it's been a good day. I've been catching up with new friends, old friends. It's interesting how people kind of come and go, but that's life, right? So things kind of tend to circle around. I don't think life is a linear thing. I know the healing journey certainly isn't, right? It isn't just, okay, then I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do that, right? It's like, no, first I have to learn this tool, and then I have to learn that tool, and then I have to accept this about myself, and then, yes, I need to, heal my mental health. I need to heal my emotional health. I need to also take care of my body. I need to understand my nervous system. I need to actually move my body, and I need to feed this body, right? I know the checklist kind of gets long, but pause, one piece at a time, right? And once that one piece has been integrated, hey, Wanda, has become a part of your new healthy habit, you've been doing it so often that now it's It's what you want to be on autopilot, right? We don't want the shame and the guilt and the hurt to be running us on autopilot. We want to shift that out and put in some of the good stuff, right? But ultimately, right, how do we want to live life? One mindfulness moment at a time. And no one is mindfulness 24/7, no way. But doing our best we can from the present moment. So are we ready, friends? And I know I shouldn't ask that. Because we're digging a little deep today. We're talking about our stories, right? It's interesting, right? We all have stories. And just reflecting here, I used to love, as a child, right, stories. We all love stories. And remember stories that my grandma told me, stories that you heard growing up, right? And then we recognize, wait, my life is all about stories, right? So what stories are we telling? And sometimes it's kind of interesting, actually, to pause and consider, what story are you telling? What words are you using? And is it the story of the past? Right? Or are you talking about the story that you are creating for yourself? So, but stories, we are natural storytellers. We learn through stories. We integrate information through stories. We need to connect it, right? Our body sensing information. And how do we make meaning of it? Through our mind. Sometimes not our friend. Right, Sue? Exactly. I've been talking a lot lately about kind of turning the volume up on our thoughts and our stories and kind of our inner dialogue, because as we know, people in this group that are here frequently, we talk a lot about it. A few of us have been through some mindfulness courses together, is to understand what's happening in the background when we slow down so we can hear it. We can hear that inner critic. We can hear whatever is going on in the background that is very often driving your body forward or into taking action. Is it because there is a hurt? Right? Are you in fight, flight, or even freeze? Because that inner critic is just going off on you, telling you the story that you're hearing every day is pretty harsh, maybe. Just maybe. Hey, Denise. Hey, friend. How are you doing? So, interesting, right? And I've been sharing with a few of you guys that, I've been turning up some volume for myself lately, right? This healing journey. I'm still processing. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Sue says, less about the past for me now than it used to be, I think. Yep, I hear you. Hey, Cindy. Hey, friend. Good to see you. Glad you're here. And that's it, right? It's less about the past. Even though, right, Sue, you're going through a lot of feeling lately, a lot of grief, a lot of emotions coming up. So yeah, it's less about the past, more about who am I now? How can I just hold the space for what I'm feeling, what's coming up, right? What needs to be seen, heard, and validated so I can release it. And as you releasing it, bringing it up, all the way up, kicking and screaming, then wait a minute, is that story, does that serve me? What story do I want? What story can I create? What story am I focusing on? So It's simple yet complicated at the same time. So it helps to talk about it. Like, I don't know about you, but that's not true. I've heard this from you guys as well. Some of these concepts I needed to hear over and over and over and over again. And then there's one thing hearing it out here, and then, okay, I'm gonna be curious and open to this possibility that there's maybe something here I haven't seen fully or expressed fully. And I'm gonna trust that what I have what it takes to learn this thing about me, taking responsibility for me and my life now, right here, right now. I can't change the past. I can only do my best to handle myself, right? With kindness and respect and dignity and authenticity, right? That's what we're working on. Releasing our authentic self, taking down the walls that we have built to keep ourselves safe. So, yes, because as we heal, we see the same things differently. Yes, exactly. Right? And that's what we've talked about, the concept of mindfulness. Like, what filter are you seeing this experience? Are you taking it in through the filter of I'm bad? Or are you taking this in through the filter of what other people do is not about me? Right? Other people are always doing their best to meet their needs. And I'm over here trying to be mindful that I'm not assuming, expecting, right? So things may be the same. One event, another event happens, same things, but how you see it changes. And how you feel about yourself changes. So how do you respond to it changes. And I've often shared with you guys, right? Having been married 25 years for a long time, try to change that husband of mine. He was the problem, like you, right? And then it's like, wait a minute. I don't think I'm here to change him. Maybe I'll have more success if I try to change me, right? And like, what is it that I need to learn that I'm worthy of love and that I'm good and valuable and lovable human instead of trying to get him to make me feel that way? You have to make me happy. You have to assure that I'm good and that, lovable and all those things. So it was a huge shift. And when I did, I found out I was pretty cool. I was pretty amazing. I actually liked myself more than I thought I could. And what happened is that the person, my husband changed. It's like he wasn't so bad. And I started seeing this like trauma in him, right? We all have trauma, most of us. Okay, not everybody, but some type of hurt. So yes, Sue, we need to hear them, to integrate them, to embody them, to start to live out of them. So off the soapbox, let me set up our conversation today. So when we tell our stories, too many of us are greeted, right, with disbelief, anger, stigma, and rejection. Can anybody relate, right? And if we haven't experienced it really, then chances are it's part of what we worry about and the reason why we don't tell our stories. Because we hear about plenty of people that aren't believed, that, children aren't believed, adults aren't believed, and the stigma that can come from, when you disclose, yep, I was abused as a child. Exactly. Yes, even I didn't really believe it. Exactly. And that's kind of the point also of today. It's like the first person we tell our stories to is us. right? It's not until we fully accept not only what happened, right, but the impact of it and how we have coped with it. And it isn't that we're bad or broken or stupid or impossible or whatever. It's like to tell the story. Because, right, it's like we have to own it, accept it. Not because you are declaring that's now who you are, but to really kind of, I think, let it sink in, the pain of it. Grief, the loss. Express the hurt instead of like skipping over. Yeah, that happened. It wasn't that bad. I was just a child. I'm over it. Don't need to talk about it. Yeah, we do need to talk about it. And I'm not talking about, right, wallowing in it or blaming or any of that, right? I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about, like, yeah, this really hurt. I have every right to be upset. I'm going to feel it deeply to release it because I want it out. It's taken up plenty of space in here. So the first person we all tell the story to in our minds, in our hearts, is ourselves. And even that was hard. And sometimes we need the reflection or interpretation or response from other people to kind of like, really? You really going to respond? You really think it was that bad? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was not okay. So many of us, normalized it. We thought this was normal. We didn't know, for many of us. So, personally, like I said, I not only struggled with the impact of child abuse, but also the long-term effects of carrying a secret that no one believed. And many of us carry or deal with that too. And I often say, right, it wasn't the abuse itself that was the hard part. The body heals. This body is, our bodies is kind of amazing, actually. Brilliant, powerful, strong, resilient. The hardest part, we can't talk about it. And that's what hurts us the most. So, what we're going to talk about today, who is a safe person you can tell your story to this week? Like, where are you? What story, what part of your journey are you processing, telling, writing, right? Doing poetry about, drawing a picture, dancing, doing yoga, you're meditating, you're singing about it. Creativity, actually the healing journey, actually, for me, a long time, I didn't think I was creative until I had a client. I mean, not a client. She was more my mentor than anything. And she was just like, Svava, you're really creative. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Yeah. Healing actually is a very creative process. So I'm going to pause with that. Here, Cindy is sharing with us, I need to release that my abused daughter says she told me things about her abuse, but didn't. She just said, Mom, I told that he said he was going to kill you if I told. Oof, at every birthday he said it. Oh my goodness, Cindy. I'm so sorry, my friend. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you, Cindy. I hear you. Oh. That was hard. That's hard. I hear you, my friend. I am so sorry. That is very hard. That is very hard. Yes, Wanda, thank you. We are sending you our love and our hugs. And yes, Cindy, we know, and I know you from many, many years now. I've known you since what, 2009? And I know how hard you have fought for your kids. I know, my friend. So I am so happy to hear you see you say that, to declare that. It was because we took her to a funeral. But how do you release it? Well, my friend Cindy, right, in your heart of hearts, you know you did the best you could. And I know that you are still in your daughter's life and you are there for her, you support her, you listen to her. And I can relate definitely to some of that, meaning like I was not a soft, warm, loving, tender mom when my babies were young, my adult daughters now. So once I understood, right, that no matter what, right, they had a story that they had made up to survive their childhood. And their story may sound very different than what I remembered, right? So I did my best, Cindy, and this was brutal at times, to give my daughters permission to tell me, to express their truth. And again, that's what I did for them. But what I had to do for me was to do the inner work of, forgiving myself or accepting myself and faced with the reality that my daughter had a story that I don't remember, right? That her experience was different than mine. But I knew that honoring her truth was important. And then I had to do the best I could do to grieve and to talk about my experience, like through counseling and through peer support, that I didn't know that I didn't know. Yes, exactly. That's right. She feels comfortable talking about it, honoring her truth. That is huge, Cindy. Yes. And you know what you're doing when you honor her truth, you are actually modeling for her what you perhaps couldn't give to her then, right? Like you're doing it now. And that to me is all that mattered. So I had to work on me and work on me and work on me and work on me until I was like breathing through it, because I wanted her to have an experience of me hearing her truth. And you know what? It was a gift to me too. Because chances are, like, I didn't have someone that listened to my truth. Thank you, Nuff. Hey, friend. And that's exactly it. Once you acknowledge that as a mother, right? Exactly. Cindy, you're getting all kinds of great feedback here. Wanda says, Cindy, my nephew abused my daughter unknowingly. After I found out, I've had to learn to forgive myself for what I didn't know. I still hurt and I'm still learning to forgive myself. Thank you, Wanda. Exactly, right? And it's like we can play that scenario out for anybody here, right, who is a parent. Oh my goodness, right? If we could go back, what we know now, we didn't know then, and we have to forgive ourselves. I didn't know that, how to love me, let alone love them. I didn't know how to listen to me, and I was never listened to. I didn't know how to listen to them. So you're doing it here, Cindy, and you're doing it by asking these questions, by sharing it here. I can feel your willingness. I can feel your heart. And to continue to remind yourself, like, right? You can't go back, but you are here now. And you are healing you, and you're forgiving you and releasing any of the toxic shame or guilt from the past. Because I do believe that that's part of, the work that we do. Exactly. But when we forgive us, we also release the burden that we are no longer just passing this on to our kids. And that's also why I'm still actively processing anything that still may be in my blind spot. I'm not perfect, right? I want to see it. I want it out and release it. No matter how old they are. I believe energetically we are hardwired into our babies forever. Right? We gave them life. They came through us. There are all kinds of energy that is connected here. So and some of this, they may never know. They may never know how hard we are working to forgive ourselves so we don't pass that down, the shame and the guilt down to our kids. So thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and thank you all for showing up here for Cindy, sharing that you are not alone. You're not alone. And thank you for trusting us with your story, because that is a privilege. It's an honor to be trusted with some of these hard stories, and I don't take that lightly. So thank you, Cindy. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, Cindy. She says, thank you guys, all of you, and those I don't know exactly. It takes a village. It takes a village. And here we come from a place of love and support, kindness and encouragement. And I think we've all found out that we only attract those good people that want to be a part of that, who are drawn to that kind of dialogue. So Nuff says, my father and I never agreed on an old memory. I just now realized that. Wow. Well, be gentle with yourself, Nuff. I, for one, believe that our healing process is very organic. It's kind of authentic in terms of how it unfolds, right? Like for you just to show up now, tonight, to be a part of this conversation, are hearing information that are bringing to your awareness some information that perhaps you are now ready to process again and to forgive yourself or to release or accept. I think acceptance and forgiveness are kind of go hand in hand. And it's not about accepting the hurt, accepting being abused. That's never acceptable. But accepting ourselves for how, we coped or what happened as a result of that, right? So I'm so glad you're sharing that with us, Nuff. Thank you so much. Let us know how we can support you. How can we support you with that? Oh my goodness. This is why I love groups so much. Why I love support groups so much, because you never know when you are courageous and share your stories or share from your heart, even when you're sharing your hurt, right? As we have been hearing about some hurt, it helps other people. Miracles happen, my friend. Absolutely. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for all of us here, for creating the safe space for us to share this. Beautiful. So back to, yes, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Sue. Rob says he's listening while he's fishing, but he can't comment and says to share his thank you. Well, I'm glad to know you're here, Rob. We've missed you, my friend, but I'm also so happy to hear that you're out camping and enjoying nature, fishing. Good for you. Good for you. So the two questions, right, we were talking about. You're welcome. Oh my God, that water just went down the wrong pipe. I better not speak while I'm taking a sip of water. All right. I think I was able to get that down here. So the two questions here today: who is a safe person that you can tell your story to this week? And after you tell this person your story, how does your body feel? And that would be actually an invitation for you guys today while we're here together, because the work that we're doing, even though we're doing a lot of talking about it, expressing our thoughts about it, writing about it perhaps, also notice what's going on inside. How is your body, responding to what's being said? How is your body responding to what it's hearing? And do your best, right, to practice some self-compassion, give yourself some warmth, tapping even. You guys have seen me rock back and forth, right? Sometimes if we feel a little butterflies, a little anxiety, it's because it's coming up. It's coming up. So be gentle with yourself, but navigate, right? That's the self-regulation part. Okay, where am I on this curve? Is my nervous system activated? Am I in my sympathetic nervous system, or can I draw on my parasympathetic, taking a few deep, slow breaths to help myself come back into being grounded again? There he is. Hey, Rob. Good to be here. Good to have you, friend. So let's go down here. We have a few beautiful shares today. So to those that are watching or new to our video live stream or recording, I post the page of the day in our Facebook group, and then our members share their journal entries and give me permission to read them out loud here with you for thoughts, reflections, sharing, encouragement. So here goes. Nora shared with us today. Shout out to you, Nora. It was so good to see this from you today. She says, it's a scary thing to tell your story. Hands up. Yep. It's a scary thing. It's the scariest thing ever. Okay. Thank you, Sue. Sue is my assistant here on giving me updates about what's going on what I can't see right now. So I just updated. So let's see, where did it go? It should be here. It should be here. It should be here. There it is. So back to Nora. It's a scary thing to tell your story, but I've been lucky and have surrounded myself with safe people. Thank you, Wanda. She says, my therapist, this tribe, Svava, and certain sisters in my religious community. I know when I have told my story, I do feel a sense of relief and my body tension is lessened. But the one person I need to keep letting know about the story is myself. I hear you, Nora. So you might relate to what I just said earlier about the first person we tell our story to is ourselves. She says here, there are days that I don't want to believe the horrifying abuse that I had to withstand. There have been days where I need to convince myself that it didn't happen. But for some reason, I don't want to accept the truth. At this point in my life, and with the new journey and transition I'm about to undertake, I cannot help but believe my truths. Thank you, Sue. Lots of love being sent your way, Nora. She goes on to say, the love that I'm receiving from the sisters and the inner peace I feel at this moment is an experience I have never felt before. Yes, and having been there and hanging out with you and your sisters, it makes me so happy, Nora, that you are surrounded by that great love right now. She goes on to say, but it is helping me to want to go deeper into myself and start exploring who I really am, which is helping me to face my truths and accepting the ugliness of the abuse. I now have the urge to want to know who Nora really is and now have the abuse and not have the abuse define her. I've been quiet for several months in this group, and I know I don't need to explain why or apologize, which is why this tribe is so fantastic. But I will always know that I am loved by you, and that once Svava has you in her group, she will never let you go, which is so comforting to know. Well, I'm glad it's comforting to you because I warned you. I'm relentless. I'm relentless. You're going to make me cry, but I knew what kind of relentlessness it has taken to get here, and I refuse to give up on anybody because that's what I needed. I needed someone that said, hell or high water, I will not give up on you. And until I believed that for me, I had someone that believed in me. And that is my journey to pay forward for as long as I'm here, breathing. So I am happy to hear that that comforts you. She also says, my hectic summer is almost over and hopefully I will be able to pop in more often before I embark onto my next journey. It would have to be away for a while. I love this wonderful group and everyone who is here. This is what keeps me on track to strive to release my authentic self and aim to live the life I would prefer to live. All right, where are my tissues? Whew, beautiful, right, Nora? And I just want to say, my friend Nora, and to the tribe, you guys who have known Nora for a while, this was a huge declaration, my friend. This is a huge acceptance. Like, yeah, I know this happened. I'm ready to understand why and get to know the truth of who you are. Because you are so loved, my friend. You are so generous and so kind and so encouraging and so supportive. And it's really an honor and a privilege for all of us to be a part of your journey. Because you give, again, like I said, so much So much. Whew, yes, right, friends? So much growth. We know it. You're not the only one. A few of us here, right? Kicking and screaming. That's right, Rob. Proud to know you. Yep, exactly. And we are here. We are here. We are here for you. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nora. Thank you, Cindy. She says, I don't know you, Nora, but that was wonderful. That's it. And like this process, the journey, it cannot be rushed. I'm sorry, it cannot. I've tried. And it's when I try to push and make it happen now, right? That's when I only end up getting frustrated with myself and beating myself up again. It's like, and I actually had a conversation today with someone about that, more than one actually. Slowing things down is the only way we are going to heal our mind, heal our bodies, heal our spirits. So thank you, Nora. We're so glad that you're here with us. Hey, Sharon. Hey, friend. Glad you're here. Good to see you. Let's see here. Sue shared with us, at the moment, all my local friends are involved in the situation. So I needed to tell my story to people who are outside of it. I've been struggling with grief, both around the death of a friend and also around things from the past. So I've turned to those I can trust online to tell the story. You know who you are. Yes, we do. So I am very grateful for these people who I know will receive what I have to say with grace and compassion. And they haven't disappointed me. And I have felt relieved, encouraged, and validated, which is helping me to carry on my feelings, to be with the things as they are, and to face what is coming up in the near future. I hear you, Sue. I hear you, my friend. All right, again, I am so glad that you are here. And I'm so glad, again, that we are here to support you because you give a lot of support as well. You give a lot, my friend. And as we grow together, we're learning, right? It's okay. No one is expecting me to fix it. I can't make it go away like that. I can only sit with my soft, open, kind heart and not turn away when the person that's hurting in front of me is sharing their hurt. Right? That's such a big gift because each one of you, all of you, you're the healer. You're the healer. We just are providing safety, the safe place, the mirrors that we hold up to remind you how wonderful you are and that you're going to be okay. Yeah, this is hard. This is hard. And it's easier on humans when we have other people. It takes a village just to live, right? But unfortunately, trauma disconnects us and seeds these stories that we're not worthy or, of support, or that we shouldn't reach out. And many of us have also historical perspective on that, right? We weren't believed. We didn't get the love or the support that we needed. So, and that's the story we are changing as we speak. So thank you so much, Sue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're doing a beautiful job navigating a very, very challenging chapter of your life. So thank you for sharing with us. Cindy says here, I wonder sometime if my God has me this disabled body to slow down, because he knows me and I don't know slow until now. Well, Cindy, that is definitely something to consider, right? I would invite you to meditate on that or to journal, right? And see what that feels like. Because I know from my experience, not coming from a place of, religion, more of a spirituality, and my God is love, right? It wasn't until I slowed down, right, and was soft enough and open enough that I could connect with love, connect with God. But we're so busy doing, which is often a trauma thing. Busy, we're fight or flight. We're busy, 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 moving away from the discomfort, moving away from the pain, protecting, right? We're doing this. We're not here. So, yeah, Cindy, so that would be something for you to consider. So, I hear you. Hey, Sharon. Yes, we will keep you in our prayers over the next 7 days until the IUI works to its fullest. Yes. Prayers and love coming your way. Absolutely. It's so exciting. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I better keep moving. We have a few more shares today. Rob says here, hope it doesn't sound predictable or safe to answer that you and the tribe aren't safe people, because when I know I can speak my truth to you all, I feel safe and can predict you will understand and support me, which makes me feel confident and embrace confiding. Hey, Donna. He finishes that up with saying, which is confidence and allows me to learn being open with other people. Yes, 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 Rob. This is it. When we know people have our back, when we know we have support, we can go out into the world. This is the biggest piece of why we struggle. If we didn't get that as children, if we didn't know that even if we ventured out from our family system, from our home base, I know my parents got my back. I know I'm loved. I know I'm secure. I know I'm supported. They will always be there for me. Yes, he does. But that's the thing. If we didn't have it, isn't that what we're constantly seeking? And so, Rob, for you to recognize like how this is actually impacting you, this is important. It's very important. Exactly. Community filling in the gaps while you are also learning to trust. Right? It's in those mini experiences when you guys are connecting outside of here, outside of the group, when you guys get on the phone together or on the video calls together, you're building new pathways in your nervous system. It's like, oh, so this is what it's like to have a support system, to feel like I belong, to reach out to people and they care and I matter. You're creating a new story. That's right. Learning to trust both yourself, what you're experiencing is real, because what you were experiencing in the past was real, but you weren't allowed to acknowledge it. It was crazy making. As children, we make it okay that we aren't getting our needs met. As kids, we have to. Exactly. So I was so happy, Rob, to see this from you. So thank you so much. Just brilliant insight, and I'm so happy for you. That's right, neuroplasticity. We're rewiring, rewiring. Trust. What does that look like? Trust. What does that sound like? Trust. What does that feel like? What is that? What is that? What is that? Ah, now I know. Now I know. Thank you, Wanda. She says, I'm finally comfortable with believing that you guys aren't going to abandon me. Yes, Wanda. Yes, 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 sweet lady. There you go, Rob. You're welcome. You're welcome. Just makes my heart sing, my friends. Just so much growth. And I know, right, a lot of people are going through some rough times right now, right? Like I said, this past week, I've been doing some really deep work myself. It's not fun or pretty. It hurts to feel sometimes. It hurts. It's like our hearts are going to break open in two, literally. Can I cry this hard? Yes, I did. And I felt such a relief after. But this is it, the growth that we're seeing here, my friends. And you too, all of you are inspiring me too. Just a privilege to be here with you guys. So let's see here. Wanda shared with us today. Thank you again so much, Rob. But Wanda says here, I am really considering telling my oldest sister while I'm here in Jersey about the abuse. I almost did the other day while we were sitting quietly, but I couldn't get the nerve. I know she's a safe person and loves me unconditionally, but the fear of hurting or feel she did not protect me frightens me. I hear you, Wanda. I hear you. I absolutely get it. Absolutely. Just trust, my friend, that it will happen when it feels right. And remember that you can also tell her that you realize this is hard for her to hear, but you are not blaming her and you want her to know this wasn't her fault, right? Let's see here. Wanda just shared here. Just now realized when you were talking about what filter I am looking through that it's little Wanda that's frightened. I'll have to let her know that I will have the conversation with my sister, not her. Wow, Wanda. Wow. I am so happy that you realized where this was coming from. That is so powerful, right? And how can you support your inner child, little Wanda? How can you assure her she's not in trouble? She's not the one hurting her sister, right? That no matter what, if her sister is hurting, it's because your sister loves her. And of course, wishes she could do something different, wishes she could go back and make it different. But yes, Wanda, it is our job as adults, right? And it's such an important part of the healing process. I hear you, Wanda, more like a scary lightning bolt too. Well, here's the thing, Wanda. Sit down with your little child, with your inner child, and give her permission to tell you. Give her the pen. Let her write out what she's like. Listen to her, just like we were encouraging Cindy to listen to her daughter and just acknowledge just acknowledge her truth. If you can do the same for your inner child, it's never too late to reparent or to show up for ourselves. And you letting her get the feelings out, you will feel better. Then you can validate baby Wanda, little Wanda, Hey, baby girl, of course you're scared. Of course it hurt. Of course you're upset. So do maybe some prep work. And then let her know, hey, sweet girl, I got this. And even ask her, does she want to stay home? Where does she want to go while you talk to your sister? I have a lot of fairy lands in my mind where my inner children go into the woods, climbing the trees, riding the horses, swimming in the lake, going, building forts on the river. That's where I send my inner parts when they're anxious or worried about something that I'm taking on in the adult world. I check and make sure everybody is trusting, I got this. I got this. So thank you, Wanda. I hope that was helpful. But thank you so much. So much for sharing that with us. And be gentle with yourself. But what a gift to you and your little girl. Denise shared with us today. She says, I find myself in a reversed situation. I shared a really awful story because I thought after 27 years, it needs to be talked about, but it was in vain. No one actually wants to talk about the event in question. They would rather talk about current feelings and how I'm not taking enough time to work on them. I am angry and hurt because I feel like the need to process and understand my trauma from back then that has never been addressed, but I guess no one but me seems to think so. I hear you, Denise. I hear you, my friend. I am very glad to hear that you are clear on this, right? That you are feeling that there was more that happened, that you need to talk about it. Absolutely. And I would encourage you, if you take that to your therapist, or maybe next time when you and I talk, that we take the time to talk about it. I would be more than happy to listen. More than happy. It would be a privilege, actually, to be trusted. It's an honor, always. So please let me know. I am so sorry that you experienced that nobody wanted to talk about it. But yes, we do believe you, and your feelings are valid. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm proud of you for just recognizing, because I feel need to process and understand the trauma, right? Absolutely. And the need to tell the story, right? It's like I finally found my voice. It's your power. So absolutely, so important. And I'm so sorry that was your experience. I am very sorry. Yeah. So I'm glad you got in touch with your anger about that. Exactly. Thank you for trusting us with your comment. So thank you. So again, and you're not alone. Many of us, not to minimize your experience at all, Denise, but maybe you guys can give her, comment or shout out here in terms of, how sometimes when we do tell our stories, people would rather not we talk about it. So people would rather not we talk about it. So I hear you. So thank you for sharing that with us. I'm happy to support you in any way that I can. That is hard. That is hard. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, Sue made a comment here in the group as well. There are people who will hear you. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes, thank you, Sue. Thank you. Well, our time has gone by really fast this hour. So it's been beautiful. I just really want to thank you all for sharing. But I wanted to share two more things before we wrap up. But if you have to log out, because I know it's getting late for some of you guys, I wanted to share a quote from Brene Brown. Thank you, Wanda. Yep, holding a bucket. That's a good part as well. Holding a bucket. Because sometimes we just need to talk through it, talk about what happened. So Brene Brown talks about the story, right? In her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, she says, owning our story can be hard, but not nearly as difficult as spending our lives running from it. Embracing our vulnerabilities is risky, but not nearly as dangerous as giving up on love and belonging and joy, the experiences that make us the most vulnerable. Only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. So that's Brene Brown. And personally, that is something that guides me. You know, when I know there's something in my shadow or in my blind spot that is asking to be seen, I turn on my light and I go in, because I know I'm also bringing light into a place that hasn't been lit up yet. And if there is hurt in there, if there is shame in there, if there is any type of confusion about, who I think I am, then I want to know. I want to know, right? Because I know I'm not what happened to me. It wasn't my fault. None of us. It wasn't your fault. You're not bad. You're not. Should not feel ashamed. Feel broken. Mm-mm. So, thank you guys for bringing the light into this space. And as you're seeing and hearing and feeling, bringing light into each other's experiences, right? And reminding each other how strong we really are. So, the card for today. One day she woke up and decided to believe. Perfect, right? So, I don't know who needed to hear that today. There you go, Rob. That's awesome. Well, thank you, beautiful souls. Thank you. I so appreciate you all, and I know how much you mean to each other. Keep up the good works. Exactly. That card is for you, Denise. We believe you, my friend, and we believe in you. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I wish you all a beautiful evening, a lovely weekend. Go do something that sparks joy, right? Go out into nature, do something good for your body and for your heart. And I look forward to seeing you guys. Oh, yes, Wanda. Absolutely, my friend. You are in our prayers. All right, Rob, keep up with the fishing. You're welcome, Denise. I'm so glad you were here, and thank you for speaking up. I really appreciate that, for speaking up and sharing your truth. Absolutely. Honor your truth. That's what we're doing here. All right, sweet friends, see you back here Tuesday, same time, same place. Until then, I may hear and see a few of you between now and then, but have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Thanks, friends. Take care.